Hey, what's up, everybody? Tough break for the New York Knicks. It's been a roller coaster type of season. It's been up and down. Jeremy Lin has certainly provided a spark, and yet the same storyline continues. The same issue has been plaguing the Knicks for the last year and a half. And if we're going to be honest about it, we have to address Amare Stoudemire and Carmelo Anthony. I've said it for a while now. I know many people have said this. You have two guys that are basically the same player. They're both score first offensive players who try on defense somewhat. So you're not getting complementary players who fit like a glove. You're getting players that play the same type of position. And I said the same thing, by the way, when the Nuggets acquired Allen Iverson. I said, as great of a scorer as Iverson is, as great of a scorer as Carmelo Anthony is, that will never work because, yeah, they play different positions, but they're the same player. Now, at the time, Melo was certainly the better scorer. He was the younger of the two. He had the fresher legs. He had more hops. He had more explosiveness and athleticism. It's the same situation again with Melo and Amare Stoudemire. And that's not to deny the fact that Amare Stoudemire was the MVP through the first quarter of the 2010-11 NBA season. But I'm sorry, this has gone on long enough. Amare Stoudemire's numbers are substantially down this year compared to what he's done in years past. And that has a lot to do with the fact that they don't play well together. They just don't fit each other well. And I understand they're both prolific NBA scorers. I think they're both Hall of Famers. Call me crazy. Despite the back problems and the knee problems Amare Stoudemire has, I think when it's all said and done, he's going to eventually, not on the first ballot, but he's going to find himself in the Hall of Fame. I think Melo is a potential first ballot Hall of Famer. But these two players cannot play together. I understand James Dolan has the $850 million renovation he's trying to make up for. But it was so appealing and apparent in what we saw from Stoudemire punching a glass that had a fire extinguisher, and then had to walk out with a sling, and he's very lucky that he has no tendon or ligament damage. He needs to be praising God today because he's very fortunate this injury wasn't worse than what it really could have been. And he's out for Game 3. The Knicks have not won a playoff game since 2001. That is a problem, being the fact that you do have a storied franchise. Those 1970 and 73 NBA championships are some of the most revered championships we've seen in the history of professional basketball. This is a team that is starving for success. They seem to have everything fall into place. But we just saw two players in Melo and Stoudemire who cannot exist together. It just doesn't work. I understand they only lost by 10 points this time around as opposed to the 32-point beatdown the Heat gave them in Game 1. But this is a situation that is not working anymore. I understand Amare has $65 million left when it comes to his contract, but you gotta just have a clean break at this point because this isn't working. And I'm sorry, Amare Stoudemire. I know you have endeared yourself to New York Knicks fans, and you are a very likable personality, an NBA basketball player, and you stand for a lot of good. But for you to put your team in jeopardy like that, and for you to essentially cement your team's chances of not winning the series by taking yourself out, by removing yourself when you did have a 17-8 game, I mean, that is just so incredible bizarre. It really is. I have no words for it. I can't imagine the second best player on any other team is taking themselves out with a self-inflicting injury. Now, you did the same thing last year against the Boston Celtics when you hurt your back dunking in warm-ups. Now, that's a little bit of a different situation because you didn't do something that would virtually guarantee your absence in the next two games. But I have to say, Amare Stoudemire, this is your 10th year in the league. And I understand frustration boils over. And I completely get the fact that you don't feel like you are living up to your billing and your potential in this series. But to take yourself and remove yourself completely from Game 3 and Game 4, that is the absolute last thing your team needed you to do, Amare Stoudemire. I think the Knicks have to move on. I think they have to trade him if they can. Look for a player like Darren Williams or even a Steve Nash who still has a couple years left in that tank to play off of Carmelo Anthony, to complement his game, not take away from his game. And that, unfortunately, is what Amare Stoudemire has done, despite the fact that he put up incredible numbers in the first quarter of 2010-2011. This relationship is just not working, and a change is ultimately necessary. Folks, I want to thank you for listening to Sports with Shep podcast. We're going to break down the NBA playoffs tomorrow. It's been exciting. It's been exhilarating. I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. Thank you for your time. Have a blessed day, and tune in tomorrow, folks. Thanks again.